Oh, how about now?
That's perfect.
All right,
Eunice,
sweet.
do you want to say anything before we start?
Gus, can I lick your armpits?
No.
Bodacious true crime.
What's up, Bodacious True Crimers? It's your hosts, Riley, Gus and Younes.
That's us. Woo!
I have 7 restraining orders.
Yeah?
They're all from my mother.
Well, that's interesting, Eunice. But hello, everybody, and welcome to Bodacious True Crime, as Gus said before.
Mhm.
I know I got into a lot of shit last time for repeating my what Gus said.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't want to hear the same things over and over again, Riley.
But you speak only truth.
Mm-hmm. I do. You're right. I tell the facts. I do
No,
research.
Gus speaks
Oh,
only truth.
fuck
You're
you.
just
Okay, fine.
repeating it. Don't try to take Gus's credit. What the
I'm not
fuck?
taking
Yeah,
his
that's what I'm
credit.
saying.
How am I taking
What
Gus's
the
credit?
He's trying to, like, listen, man. You're already getting all the limelight. At least let me have something.
Right, yeah. I'm the one who has to do,
I'm
like...
just mad that this whole fucking podcast thing was 100% Gus's idea.
You're right. Gus actually came to me first and said, hey, do you want to start a true crime podcast? And I said yes.
I said, and I was like, do you want to do all the research for all the time for all the?
And I said, why
well.
wouldn't I?
Yeah, he did actually.
Yeah.
And I get 66%. I own 66% of the British True Crime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 66.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I only own 13%, despite making up 54% of the
Okay,
fucking...
time to get off something less racist.
Amen.
Let's talk about something less racist.
do you mean?
This week, do you know what we're talking about, Gus?
We are talking about Big Bundo.
Big Ted Bundy. Can you do the baseball, like the...
As always, I just would like to clarify to the audience, I know nothing of what's going to go on today, aside from the fact that his name is Ted and possibly Bundy.
Yeah, that's true, because I was talking to our other friend Hamza about this, and Eunice had to leave the call so he didn't get spoiled. But
Dedication, friends.
yeah, but in case you're not like Eunice and you're like, hey, who is Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy is one of the most prolific serial killers in the United States and in the world.
I would like to ask,
yeah. I mean,
what
he's
does
bad.
prolific mean?
It's like the most... One of... His career is like up there. He has a lot of kills. We don't really...
Count?
What did you say? Sorry?
What's his kill count?
We don't know. Officially,
Not exactly.
Officially, it's 30. But we don't really know. Or I think officially it's 36, but we don't really know.
Just a lot. It's still a lot. Like speculation, is more. You often hear that it's probably more than less.
Including the FBI thinks it's somewhere in the hundreds. And that's probably right. Another side note before we get into it. I just want to say, researching this episode was pretty hard. And also, this is going to be so long that it's going to be multiple parts.
Yes, it'll be our first multiple part.
Yeah, and I really don't I didn't want to, but, I didn't really have a choice. Because it's either 1 4-hour episode or 2 or maybe 3. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle of it right now. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But yeah, researching this was kind of hard because Ted Bundy is a liar. I don't know if you noticed. So let's jump into it. So Ted Bundy was actually born Theodore Robert Cowell.
What a name.
I know. Pretty good name, actually, not going to lie.
Yeah.
He was born
one of the better ones.
Yeah. He was born on November 24th, 1946, in a home for unwed mothers in Vermont. His mother's name is Eleanor Louise Cowell. I think that's her nickname, Eleanor. So her name is Louise Cowell. Ted Bundy's father, however, is unknown. And they think it's rumored to be some guy in the Air Force. But I didn't put his name in because it's not important. It's just speculation. So Ted Bundy was born in that home for unwed mothers. His mother actually left him there, but then his grandfather told him, like, nah, you gotta go back. And they brought the kid back. So, Younes, remember last episode, the David Berkowitz episode? Shout out to Manny Grossman.
The Jewish guy, right? Bagels? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you remember how you were talking about how fucking weird his life is? Like, it's a soap opera?
To be fair, 90% of what I thought was weird about him was his name.
Well, you said, like, you said in the
last episode.
I said
it was really dramatic.
Right. Are you ready? Because his life is way worse.
Let it rip.
All right. So think about this, right? It's the 50s. It's the 40s. Ted Bundy is a bastard. Literally. And, in the figurative way. So...
No, he's literally.
No, I mean, he's a bastard and a bastard,
Yeah.
So, Ted Bundy was raised by his grandparents, and he thought that his grandfather was his dad, his grandmother was his mother, and his mother was his sister. Until way later in life. Which is perfectly normal. Nothing wrong with that,
At all.
No, nothing's wrong. So, it is also worth noting, some people think the reason they did this was because Ted Bundy's dad was actually his grandfather. And he was a child of incest. Now, this is not, proven, but, fun fact, his grandfather is a huge piece of shit.
No.
Yeah. In an interview later in life, Ted Bundy said he respected his grandfather, but then, in a different interview, and, according to other family members, they described Samuel Cowell, who was Ted Bundy's grandfather, as a typical bully and a bigot who hated blacks, Italians, Catholics, and Jews.
Which is funny.
He beat his wife regularly and the family dog and swung neighborhood cats by their tails.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's like walking down here talking about how much he hates Catholic people. He would not like me. He wouldn't like me reading this.
I was about to say.
I'm two of those things.
Yeah, good thing he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At a young age, Ted was not exactly the best child either.
What?
His aunt recalled him fucking... At the age of 3, apparently, she woke up surrounded by knives that apparently Ted Bundy had put there. And, but he's 3, we don't know how accurate this statement is.
Right.
But he was, apparently standing there smiling and laughing. Yeah.
Demon baby.
He also might have killed somebody when he was 15, but we don't know that. We'll talk about that later.
Baby.
Yeah, maybe. In 1950, Luis and Ted moved to Washington, where his mom met a hospital cook named Johnny Bundy. John and Luis married in 1951, and John formally adopted Ted. And I thought this was really weird. Because he still thinks this is his sister. And it's just really weird.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Ted Cowell, or Theodore Cowell, is now Ted Bundy. And,
honestly?
Yeah.
Nice last name.
It's a good last name. I like it.
I can't lie, man.
Bundy and Cowell are both good. They're good last names. They're not good people.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, not at all, but no. Good names.
So, despite like I said, he gets formally adopted by John Bundy, but despite Luis and John having 4 children of their own, Ted, they always went out of their way to include Ted and make him feel like he was part of the family, but Ted never seemed like he was interested in it.
Right.
And he did okay in high school. Keep in mind, he lives in Washington now.
Yeah.
He did okay in high school, and he had like friends. Like people described him as a medium-sized fish in a big pond. So he wasn't like a loner outcast. He described himself as being a loner.
Right.
Other people would describe him as being kind of a jackass and having a temper.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, what would he do later in life?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like it's only up from there.
Yeah. Later, Ted told, I think, a girlfriend that John Bundy wasn't like good enough for him because he made very little money being a hospital cook and wasn't very smart. So like you can just see how he had like look at his attitude on life. You know, he looks.
It's not. Listen, man. He's got standards. That's what it is. Okay.
But he's like, oh, you're not good enough for me. That's what his words were. You're not. He wasn't good enough.
Standards.
But they're kind of like I don't know. That's your like
Listen,
adoptive father.
he is
He's
like
trying to be nice.
cat flinging. He's a cat flinging, knife wielding baby. Okay, his like the bar is here.
Yeah.
His father is down here.
His father. Technically this is his brother. It's so weird. It's so weird.
This just feels like we're talking about like just like a random Alabama family so far.
Yeah. Except it's
Except it's one of the worst serial killers in the country.
Ever. Probably the worst. Also in high school, Ted picks up a bit of a criminal record. He is a kleptomaniac, so he likes to steal stuff.
Yeah.
He gets arrested twice. Once for suspicion of burglary, and the second time for auto theft, but he's not 18, so it gets expunged from his like adult record.
Right.
Which is important later. Ted Bundy, also in high school, finds a love for skiing. Which will also, unfortunately, be very important later. There are pictures. We can look at them on air. Oh my god.
He's good at traveling around mountains.
Oh yeah, he likes to hike. Especially on Taylor Mountain.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see any significance there.
Probably not.
Yeah, to the future of the story.
No.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, so in 1965, actually, before we go on, I just want to say he stole like old skiing equipment and used it to ski. So this man just like he is a kleptomaniac. Right. So in 1965, Ted graduated from high school and he started attending the University of Washington. It's during this time that Ted gets his first real girlfriend. We don't. Her like real name. She chooses to be anonymous, but her alias most of the time is Stephanie Brooks. So they start dating in 1967. Bundy was pursuing a degree in psychology, but he dropped out of college.
First red flag.
Yeah. Fuck, yeah, he's gonna gaslight her. In 1968, he drops out. So he did it for like 3 years. I don't know why he dropped out. And
was running there, man.
Yeah. And then he and her dated for a year at this point. But in 1965, Ted Bundy begins to identify himself as a conservative and a Republican.
A good mix.
I mean, they go hand in hand, basically.
Basically.
Yeah. He volunteers at the Seattle branch of the Nelson Rockefeller campaign in 1986. Yeah, and this is not the only political campaign he volunteers for. In 1972, he works on the re-election campaign of the governor of Washington at the time, whose name was Dave Evans. Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will.
There's a lot of we'll talk about that later in this story.
So exciting.
I know, yeah. So, in 1969, Bundy's world kind of starts to fall apart.
Right.
His girlfriend, Stephanie and him break up. The reason she said for this was because he was not husband material. And like, keep in mind, like, her family and her are super rich, but Bundy is not.
Right.
So it might not have been like he wasn't husband. It's just like, whatever. He's not rich, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, Bundy was also like doing all these like things where like he's trying to make himself look like a fucking hotshot when he's a poor ass guy from Vermont.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
You need to cut Bundy some slack, okay?
Oh, my apologies, officer. Fucking no.
No.
Fair.
Bundy, after she breaks up with him, he is heartbroken, right? And my heart weeps for him. I'm so sad. He goes on a little tour visiting like a bunch of family and friends, and it is believed that at this time he learns the truth about his birth. The man is like in college at this point.
Yeah.
So I imagine it wasn't exactly I imagine he didn't take it too well.
Yeah. I imagine no.
So Bundy's a little depressed. But in 1970, he gets back on the saddle. Yeah.
Isn't it?
You know, at this point, I'm rooting for him, man.
What were you saying, Younes?
Like, I'm happy he's like keeping it together, but God.
Yeah, he has it together.
Oh yeah. By the way, I just want to interject something. Technically we don't know when he started killing. So he literally could have started killing at any point before this. So yeah, he has it together, but he might not have it together, you know what I'm saying?
The slightest. But
it's like held together by like Hubba Bubba Gum.
Not really. Something weaker than that. Ted Bundy in 1970 decides to get back on the saddle, and he is going to start a game that would last, I think, almost 4 years to get the girl that he loves back. So he re-enrolls in the University of Washington in 1970, and he does graduate.
You didn't tell me this was going to be a rom-com.
This is a love story, okay? Ted Bundy's life is a love story. He loves fucking dead bodies. Anyways.
Prank him, John.
Prank him, John. In 1971, right, in the middle of his college, you know.
Yeah.
He took a job at, do you want to guess where, Younes? Where does Ted Bundy go to work?
A morgue.
You're close.
Funeral home?
No, like not it. Something with dead bodies, but like not. You know what I mean?
A graveyard?
No. I'll tell you.
I'm out of guesses.
He takes a job at the Seattle Suicide Hotline Crisis Center. As an operator, like dealing with people who are about to kill themselves.
Oh my god.
Do it.
He's jerking off while he's fucking like telling them not to kill themselves. He's like, wait for me to do it.
Right.
You know what? Tell you what. I don't want you to go to hell over suicide. Give me your address. I'll take care of you, bro.
Right.
Let me
30 minutes or it's free.
He's an angel.
And
he's doing God's work.
Yeah. No. Okay. Now hold on a minute.
Does he know?
No. So, fun fact, while he was at the Seattle Hotline Crisis Center for Suicide, you know, he met and like literally worked side by side with a police officer named Anne Rule, and now she is an accomplished true crime writer. She wrote a book about Bundy. I think that was what propelled her into the into like stardom.
You think so?
Yeah. It's called The Stranger Beside Me. I haven't read it.
Mm.
Kind of fucking Breaking Bad type of
title. So
isn't
Yeah,
that like
I
isn't that
believe
like
it.
the plot of Breaking Bad?
what?
Fucking his brother's actually the cop, and it's like always right below his nose.
Okay,
Mm.
but like Bundy and her are not related. They're just like work friends.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hank and Walt aren't related.
they're in
True.
laws.
But they're
Yeah.
in-laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Side note, she described him as kind and empathetic.
Bundy was an empath.
She Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy sensing the body in his fucking car's decomposing.
Something that the body in his car is in pain.
And like Ted Bundy used to apparently walk her to her car at night and be like, "You get home safe now. Like just drive right straight home."
Careful, there's a lot of murderers out
Yeah.
today.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of serial killers out there. You better be
You
careful.
wouldn't like.
I think this just shows like how Ted Bundy is like he is a psychopath.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's able to put on bless you.
Thank you.
He's able to put on this like mask for people, you know?
Yeah, no, he's literally a different person.
Yeah. And like I think that's part of his game. Like he just becomes he like you'll see he like completely reinvents himself. And this is
Yeah.
part of the process. And like I was saying before, in 1972, he works on the Dave Evans governor re-election campaign. He would disguise himself as a college student, which like he was, but like, you know, a college student, and go to the like his opponents like rallies and like work and stuff. And he would shadow him and kind of like take notes, record speeches, and then take them back to Dave Evans and tell him how to beat his opponent in the debates.
He was a rat.
Yeah. And Dave Evans won. I'm not saying it's because of Ted Bundy,
Wow.
but he did win.
Mm.
And
Can't help but think that he had something to do with it, which is absolutely insane.
no, he rigged the election in 1972.
Nah.
Nah, the Russians. So when
He's too nice.
no, yeah, Ted Bundy would never do anything wrong.
Yeah, no. Politicians being evil?
I don't believe
there
you.
is-
Listen, I'm gonna say Ted Bundy was
working. Their whole point is they're in it for our benefit.
Dude,
They care about us.
in the Bundy 2002 movie. There's like a whole scene about him, like it's just a monologue that he does where he's like screaming. He's like, "I'm a Republican," and it's so like while he's trying to kill a girl, it's so bad.
I remember you talk about that to me. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm a Republican." You can look, listeners, you can look it up. It's like I think it's on YouTube.
Guys, he has values. He's a Republican.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna be governor someday," and like the actor is so bad. Like that's how he says it. Oh my god, that's not how Ted Bundy talked. He was like, like Porky Pig.
Sounds weird. Like I was listening to a Bundy documentary a while ago. This guy sounds weird.
Yeah, I watched the Ted Bundy tapes. His voice is kind of, and he always is like,
Yeah, that's what I watched too.
yeah, and his laugh. He always laughs about shit.
Why do you have like a Seth Rogen laugh?
I don't know, man.
That's true. That's what he did. How much can we make fun of Ted Bundy in this one episode?
Is there really
Sounds
enough
like
time in the universe?
Sounds like Freddy Fazbear, bro.
Vanessa.
Uh,
So, when
What was the girl's fake name again?
Stephanie Brooks.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Please date me again.
I shit my pants.
I shit my pants. So when Dave Evans won, Bundy was hired as an assistant to Dave Ross, who was the chairman of the Washington State Republican Party. So he is a Republican.
I guess so.
Davis, who he worked as an assistant under,
Yeah.
described him as smart, aggressive, and a believer in the system.
Listen, man, I couldn't pick 3 better words to describe Bundy.
He is 2 of those things. I'm fucking your face. Bundy wanted to become a lawyer. So in 1973...
He'd be a perfect lawyer, though. That's the thing.
He's a clean-cut Republican who's never done anything wrong.
No, he's really good at just...
Oh, you mean lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in 1973, he goes to Seattle University of Law. So he's moving up.
Right.
Like, at this point, it seems like Bundy is going to have great political and, like, financial success. He's going to be a fucking lawyer. So, at the end of 1973 into 1974, Stephanie Brooks and him get back together because she saw, like, wow, he's really improved. He really has a life ahead of him.
Yeah.
And they get back together and they get engaged. Now, It's also important to note Bundy was also dating a different girl at the same time.
Of course he was.
You can't blame a guy for getting hoes.
But they get engaged. And so it's January of 1974, and Bundy breaks off all contact with Stephanie Brooks. And
he just wanted his revenge.
He did. After a month of calling her, after a month of Stephanie Brooks calling Bundy, he finally picks up and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he responds with, Stephanie, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or he said, Stephanie,
wicked.
He goes, Stephanie, I have no idea what you mean. And the whole time, he later said that the whole time he just wanted to prove he could marry her if he wanted to. The motherfucker is vengeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what do you want me to say, man? Yeah.
But something interesting to note is that every single victim has the same... It looks like her. You know? They're all attractive, like, college-aged white women with their hair... with long brown hair parted down the middle. So...
That's pretty specific.
It is. And it's like, that's how they're able to tie them all together. I think out of every victim that's confirmed, 2 don't have that, but they're still, like, long brown hair or short brown hair.
Right.
So, and obviously women. Bundy fucks dudes.
Oh, what a surprise.
So, in 1974, this is Bundy's first murder that we know of. Like I said, we don't really know. He apparently, like, told some people it could have been as early as 1969.
Yeah.
But, so we don't know. But the first confirmed murder, and where we're going to start our count, is 1974. On January 4th, Bundy broke into the home of Karen Sparks. He bludgeoned her with a metal rod. And sexually assaulted her with the same rod. Yeah.
And one done.
That's brutal. Oh, man.
She was unconscious for 10 days.
Oh, man.
But she didn't die.
That's awful.
But that's disgusting.
That's actually awful.
That is literally...
Yeah, like, no. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Fuck me. It's so bad.
Oh, my God.
Wait until we talk about Taylor Mountain.
I don't want to.
Do you guys want to see the pictures?
I'm so glad I can't, like, just, like, physically imagine the pain.
It's horrible.
So, was she, like... Wouldn't you, like, die from the pain?
Almost, apparently.
She was, like, knocked unconscious, and then, like, I guess she, like, she didn't go to work, and then they found her. And they were like, what the fuck?
Right.
But yeah, he shoved that shit up her vagina.
or pussy.
Man.
It's really gross.
Yeah, that's really gross, man.
Yeah. Gross.
That's actually awful.
It's horrible. And
Yeah.
but she lived. So she is not the first victim. The first victim is Linda Ann Healy, who was actually a morning radio weather reporter for skiers.
Yeah.
And Bundy was a skier. So I bet they had a lot in common.
Yeah. I bet he used his good old Bundy charm.
He did.
Good old Bendy charm.
He's like, hey, baby.
Listen, man, you gotta, like, to kill 37 plus women, you gotta have charm. You gotta be charismatic.
Oh, yeah. No, he was very charming. He knew how to get you to, like, do what he wanted.
Yeah.
You know, he was smart. He was a sociopath.
He had
or a psychopath.
I've come to realize with all of these different psycho murderer talks, we've all seemed to have, like, most of them seem to have higher intelligence. The big ones, not the dumbass ones that get caught like OJ.
Even some of the big ones.
Yeah,
Even some of the big ones.
Some of the big ones are really stupid, but then, like, yeah, there are, like, a lot, like, Berkowitz was of above average intelligence.
But then you have, I can't remember his name. He,
Otaku murderer?
No, he was in America. It was, I think it was in the, close to the South.
Oh.
He, like, killed a lot in the country. Like, it was a part of this cult.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I can't, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to remember the name of the cult.
The cult.
It's like his friend convinced him into it.
Oh.
And apparently together they killed for, like, countless people for it. But in reality,
the Hillside Stranglers? Because the Hillside Stranglers were, like, very close to Ramirez's time. Actually, the detective... Yeah, look it up. The detective who caught the Hillside Stranglers caught Ramirez.
Really?
Yeah. He used his knowledge and, like, transferred it over.
I got you. Huh. I can't believe I forgot. Oh, I think it's Harry Lee Lucas. Yeah, with the Hand of Death. Harry Lee Lucas and the Hand of Death.
He is also, like, literally fucking, insane.
From what I know, like,
he confessed, like, 100 plus murders.
And he confessed to him, but I don't think it was actually him.
He didn't do it because he would hear the police officers would give him shit.
Yeah.
And then tell him, hey, were you involved in this murder? They would, like, tell him. They would literally tell him, like, what the murder was, what the name of the girl was, whatever, and he'd be like, yes. So he'd get more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe he was above average intelligence as well.
He was really stupid.
He was a dumb fuck, bro. Let me tell you.
He was. So yeah, on February 1st, Bundy broke into the apartment of Linda Ann Healy, who was, like I said, a morning radio weather reporter for skiers. Bundy likes to ski, so he beat her unconscious and dragged her out of the room. They do not discover her body until they find Ted Bundy's dump site, which is no way. The one in Washington. I should emphasize that. The one in Washington.
This guy was wicked, man.
Yeah.
Like,
there were. You want to see the pictures? I have the link.
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on. They find her remains when they find Ted Bundy's dump site, which was called Mount Taylor, which is where he liked to hike. On Mount Taylor, they find a lot of skeletal remains. I'll say exactly what later. There are pictures.
Oh yeah, I just took a look at the pictures. Man,
they are fucking horrifying.
A lot of skulls.
Do you see the first one?
Yeah.
I was like looking at that. I was like, "What is that picture?" I couldn't tell what it was, and then I read it's like femur bone. I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Yeah. So you can like find them online if you want to see the pictures. I'm not going to show them to you guys. Fucking fuck you.
Because it's like actual skulls as well.
Oh yeah, there are like I remember when I was researching for this episode a few days ago. It was like almost midnight, and I was looking at those pictures, and I was freaking out. I literally couldn't sleep. Because it's so sad and it's so terrifying.
It really is.
Like it's just I feel like so bad.
Because this is real.
Yeah, and I think that makes it more real. Like actually seeing all the pictures and shit. But don't look them up if you're squeamish. So
for sure. Because
it was beginning with that murder that 6 women disappeared in the first 6 months of the year, which was 1974. So that's 1 a month. So the first, what? Sorry.
I started off slow for sure.
It did, yeah. Like he didn't kill the first girl that he attacked. But then the second girl, he killed.
Yeah.
We don't really know, like, Ted Bundy's a strangler. And then a dismemberer, But we don't go into a lot of detail with these murders. Because it's like, up until a certain point, it's just kill the girl, take her to the fucking thing and leave. Dismember the body, leave.
All in a day's work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Once you do it one time and then once you do it 1,000 times, you're like, oh, I forgot the wrench.
That's what he says. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you knew that. We'll talk. That's a part 2 thing.
Yeah, that's definitely much later.
Yeah. So on March 12th, Donna Gail Mason disappeared while she was on her way to a jazz concert. And I'm about to speed run names, by the way.
Go for it. There's 37.
So on April 17th, Suzanne Elaine Raincourt disappeared on her walk back to her dorm. May 6th, 1980. I wrote 1984. Fuck. May 6th, 1974, Roberta Kathleen Parks disappears on her way to go visit a friend at a coffee shop. Now, I know you might be wondering, okay, but how did Bundy how did he put on the Bundy charm? Right?
Yes, I like this part.
Bundy walked up to women wearing disguises.
It's not even disguises.
It's okay. He would change like his facial appearance to make himself look more like normal. And he wore a turtleneck to hide a mole he had on his neck.
Right.
But he basically goes up to women and says he wears a sling or crutches.
And
Trying
to make himself look quite.
Yep. He says, hey, I need you to help me carry something back to my car. Can you help me? Like, it's either a bunch of books or a briefcase.
And it's literally in the middle of public.
Yes, he does it in broad daylight. A lot of these murders are at night. Like, all the ones we're about to run through, most of them are at night. But they're in public. And then later, he literally does it in broad daylight. Which is fucking crazy. And people see him, too. People see him. He would have them carry stuff back to his Volks. He had a VW Bug.
Yep. Like one of the best cars ever,
Bug.
by the way.
Yeah. Brown.
Ew. Anyone that drives a brown car should be on the list.
It's a good color for a bug.
It's okay.
Brown any car.
It's a good color for a bug. You're just uncultured.
For a bug, yeah. Like, I've seen the car. It looks fine. It's actually in a museum.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. It was in some sort of, like, horror attraction thing. Now it's in, like, it's called, like, the Alcatraz something museum. So, once he got the people to his car, he would take tools, his tools, which are It consisted of a crowbar,
Mm.
a wrench, and a hammer.
Yeah.
And then he would knock him out, take him back to the Taylor Mountain. Yeah.
Okay.
Now there is
I'm listening.
there is one fatal flaw with Ted Bundy's.
One.
Yep, just one.
There is one, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. We'll wait.
Everything you've described of him has been a flaw.
No. Like, there's a fatal flaw with how he abducts women.
Was it the dressing up part, doing it in front of other witnesses?
No, there's something I didn't say yet. I'm saving it for the big one, the big Ted Bundy murder. One of the big ones. I'm sorry. So, after 3 disappearances, the police are like, this is kind of weird. But then they didn't really like see a pattern other than all the witnesses were wearing pants or slacks and they had long brown hair that was parted down the middle.
Yeah.
And they were like, maybe it's nothing. But the disappearances get worse.
Because of course they do.
Oh yeah. That's kind of like my catchphrase is like, it gets worse.
Because they always escalate.
Yeah. It's what's it called? Berserker mode. But this is not Berserker mode. He does go into Berserker mode though. But we say that
it's crazy. I know about that one. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, on June 1st, Brenda Carol Ball disappeared while leaving a bar near the Seattle airport. She was actually last seen, and like we were talking about, in public, carrying a brown bag to the car of a man with his arm in a sling.
What?
Yeah. I wonder who
It's
did
crazy
that.
because it sounds exactly like who we're talking about right now.
I know. I don't think it was him.
It's a crazy coincidence.
I think Bundy was innocent.
Of course he was.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No, never.
So finally, this is of the 6 and 6 months. On June 11th, 1974, Georgiana Hawkins, and this is a very famous one for a very bad reason. So Georgiana Hawkins vanished, literally walking down the alley between her boyfriend's dorm and her sorority house. Yeah.
He's slick, man.
And the thing is, people saw him do this. Bundy later admitted that he lured her to the car using the same fucking thing he always does, knocked her out with a crowbar, and then drove to Taylor Mountain.
He was showing her the scenery, man.
Well,
cut him some slack.
He would drive like to the area outside of it, which is called it's hard, man. Izakua? Izaka, I think.
Izaka, huh?
Uh-huh. And so yeah, and then this is the reason this one is so famous. Is because 6 murders in, you gotta spice things up.
Yeah. You don't want to.
What's the natural escalation?
Necrophilia.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's a natural death step.
This is the first, again that we know of, time Bundy commits necrophilia.
Man, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He admitted to going back to this particular body 3 times.
Oh.
And
She was a sweet thing, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I love Ted Bundy so much. He's so cool.
So cool.
Younes, you look like you want to say something.
Prank him, John.
Shut the fuck up.
God.
You know exactly the image I'm thinking of in my mind, too.
Mm-hmm. Man. So after this disappearance, this one got a lot of media attention because, like, how could she get, like, it wasn't far. How could she just get fucking swooped up?
Right.
Also, fun
Because a
fact.
smooth criminal did it.
Yeah. Fun fact. Ted Bundy worked. Where did Ted Bundy work at this time, Younes?
Morgue?
No, it's not a... He did not work at the suicide hotline. This is after. Where do you think Ted Bundy worked?
I swear to God.
you know
If he works, I think.
Do you know, Gus?
If he's working at that school.
No.
Is he working?
He goes to the University of Washington, though.
Shot in the dark. Janitor.
No.
I tried.
Much more prestigious.
Prestigious. Oh, I'm sorry.
One last guess.
Fucking salesman. Door to door.
No. Ted Bundy is the assistant director of the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Committee.
Get the fuck out of my... I'm leaving.
Yes. Ted Bundy wrote a pamphlet for women.
I bet he did.
On rape prevention.
I bet he did.
Okay, but here's my question. Did he put real shit or did he put fake shit that would help him?
No, I haven't read the pamphlet, but I'm pretty sure it was real. Somebody had to...
Remember, the best way to prevent rape is to be by yourself at night on this street.
But I want to also say, this department... Oh, I'm sorry. He later went on to work for the Department of Emergency Services, which was in charge of the missing women investigation.
He is something.
He's like, ooh, who did it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, oh, just awful.
He's like, I think I know where he's going to strike next.
I have very precise, what's it called? Location.
He can tell if he's like, Ted, how are you able to know? He's like,
You just gotta know to know, you know.
Ted takes off his shirt.
Just a gift.
Ted, like, you know, like,
you think he has like one of those like boards with like all the yarn strings? He's like, show yourself, you bastard! Anytime like someone walks in.
Yeah, but then there's a mirror attached to it.
Yeah, he's like, he can be any one of us.
It could be you. It could be me.
Me.
It could be me.
It could be me, guys.
It could be.
Like, as a prank, he's like, guys, it's me. Guys, it's me.
Actually, like what would you guys do if it was actually me, guys?
That's actually really funny that you say that.
I fucking, like, what is this fucking, this is like,
it's literally a cartoon. It's literally a cartoon.
It's not even like a cartoon. It's like a movie that Riley's seen 3 times with the most obvious plot. I'm like, oh, let me guess. It's like going to a Marvel movie. You're like, let me guess. The good guy wins. And Riley's like, well,
maybe.
Some
So, actually, when he worked for the Department of Emergency Services, he meets a woman named Carol Ann Boone.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that name? It will be important way fucking later.
Her name sounds like a pop song.
Carol Ann Boone, I guess.
Carol Ann Boom, 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 boom.
She will not be important for a long time. Just
Right.
gonna let you know that. By the way, Bundy never kills anybody he knows. That's not why I'm saying this. You'll see. But that leads us into the next big Bundy murder. The ones at Lake Sammamish. So on July 15th, reportedly Bundy walked up to a group of 5 women.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his arm in a sling and said he needed help unloading his sailboat. It's broad daylight. There are so many people.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people. And one of them said yes.
I think I know this one.
But I want to tell you something. Ted Bundy, this is the flaw with his his thing, right?
Right.
Now, Gus, if I'm a woman and you're trying to introduce yourself,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do? What would you like? Like, let's say you're trying to kidnap me or lure me
Okay.
away,
Yeah.
and we're in a big crowded group.
Mm-hmm.
What name would you use?
George Lopez.
An alias.
Right.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy didn't
Called
do
himself
that.
Ted Bundy.
He walked up to women and introduced himself as Ted. And
Like even Theodore would have been more effective.
yeah, it literally I can think of like 50 names right now that aren't mine. That I could
Yeah.
say, "Hey, my name's Dave," or like my name's Jerry, or fucking anything else.
Right.
But finally, after like a while, he got one woman, Janice Ann Ott,
Yeah.
to go back to him to help him unload his sailboat.
Right.
He leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 hours later, he abducted Denise Marie Naslund.
D nice.
Now, this one is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Bundy confessed to tying up the first girl
Right.
to a tree,
Mm-hmm.
coming back with the second girl, and forcing her to watch him kill and rape the first girl.
Ooh.
And then he did the same thing to the second girl.
That's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
He,
Really fucked up.
he's honestly so brutal.
He is horrible. Honestly,
And
I kind of forgot how
he's-
bad he was.
he's not only is he bad, like worse than most serial killers in terms of numbers, just the way he killed them.
Yeah.
Like he wanted it to, like he got pleasure from the pain. Like I believe.
Yeah. And we'll see later, I think more in part 2, definitely not in part 1. He loves the brutality and the attention.
I bet he does.
He does. And so because this was in broad daylight, they knew his name, they had a sketch, and they knew he drove a brown VW Bug.
Mm-hmm.
4 people,
Laura.
4 people who knew Ted Bundy personally called the police and said it was him.
Oh my god.
People Ted Bundy knew were telling him, "Hey, that Ted guy that kidnapped all the girls looks like you."
What? That's crazy.
And he would be like, "That's so weird."
Like what a crazy coincidence.
He's like,
Huh?
what a crazy coincidence. Dude.
My god.
But now, so many people call and were like, "Yo, I think this is the guy." But the problem is that it's very similar to like the Berkowitz case. Like if you remember, the suspect list was like I think totaled at like 1,700 names, or was it 7,000? I don't remember. They were receiving 200 tips a day for this this case.
Yeah.
And it's 1974. So like they're fucked. And this is the time when police departments didn't share information. So
like it's just something that could never happen today.
Yeah. Plus
like
sorry, go ahead, guys.
No. That's it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, plus they looked at his record and saw like he hadn't committed like I said earlier, it's important that the stuff got expunged off his record because they looked at him and were like, he's a clean-cut law student Republican. He couldn't have done that.
Right.
So they kind of just dismissed it, and which is super fucked up. And a little. So in September 2nd, 2 hikers, or 2 hunters walking through the area of Taylor Mountain, find some things, and they're like, what, So they find Bundy's graveyard, and they find the 2 girls from Lake Sammamish,
Right.
Georgianne Hawkins' remains, and all the other women we talked about before. I think it's 4 skulls. It's like 4 skulls, the femur bone, and a bunch of other like miscellaneous stuff.
Right.
The only women whose remains were never identified were Donna Ann Mason's, who was the first, I think the first girl the first murder. No, the second one.
Right.
Which is weird. But he like confessed to all these like by name. So in August of 1974, Bundy transfers to Utah Law School.
Right.
And this is in Salt Lake City. And I briefly brought this up, but Bundy was dating a woman. Her name was Elizabeth Colfer. And at this point, they break up. Because Bundy has to, like, leave, you know?
Oh, poor Bundy.
Yeah.
Just can't get your break.
She is important later. That's why I named her. Coincidentally, though, as soon as Bundy showed up in Salt Lake City, there was a bunch of murders.
What?
Yeah, it's weird.
No,
I don't
you're
believe
lying.
Yeah,
You're just trying to give Ted a bad name.
That's
Ted's
malarkey.
innocent. Oh my god. So on September 2nd, this is not in Utah, but Bundy rapes and strangles a hitchhiker in Idaho.
Yeah.
Probably in self-defense.
Yeah.
I believe it.
No, he's such a clean-cut law student. I don't think he did it.
Everything I've heard so far, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't him.
No, I don't think it was him. I think it was it's probably Dahmer.
It was somebody else, man.
It was somebody else. Maybe we should ask Stephanie Brooks where she was.
You know what?
She broke up with Ted Bundy.
That's a damn good point. Maybe he was scared of her.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't the bad guy.
Maybe there's something that we're not being told here about Mrs. Brooks.
Yeah. Or maybe. Just maybe. Hear me out.
All right.
I think Ted Bundy did it.
Nah.
No, it's not like he confessed to all this.
Are you dumb?
Nah. He couldn't have done it. His name is Ted. He was busy starring in that movie with the talking teddy bear.
He was the talking teddy bear.
Voiced by Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was ahead of your time, Riley. You wouldn't get it.
You're so stupid, man.
This is the thing that breaks up Bodacious True Crime. We can't agree on if Bundy is innocent or not.
He's innocent.
No, he is most certainly not.
He was on the set filming that movie.
Riley, did you actually do any research? Like, seriously,
are you
did
fucking
you do any research?
Me, man? You know how long
like,
this shit took me? And we're on that. This is just part one.
Not long enough.
Oh my god. So
yeah, let me check your sources after this, Riley.
Oh my god,
Riley got all his information from fucking Wikipedia and 4chan.
Okay. Shut up.
All right, we're done. We're done.
End of episode. So, Bundy rapes and strangles a hitchhiker in Idaho, and they don't know who the hitchhiker is.
Right.
He just admitted to this. I think they might have found her. He said he threw her remains in a river.
Right.
But on October 2nd, Bundy kidnapped and killed a 16-year-old. Her name was Nancy Wilcox.
Nice.
I figured you were gonna fucking say that. That's why I paused, because I was like, somebody's gonna say something.
I gave it to Gus.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He kidnapped her in Salt Lake City, but her remains were buried in a park that was 200 miles away.
Oh,
Damn, what kind of car did you say he had
A
again?
VW
a
Bug.
bug.
Don't they also have good mileage?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
What do you mean probably? Did you do your research or not?
Eunice, I didn't
Uh,
look up if the car he drives has good mileage. Why would I
What
need
a
to know that?
professional. I bet you don't even know his third grade barber.
What the How am I supposed to even find that information?
It's literally everywhere.
It's
It was Bill
not.
Cosby. Dumbass.
What? The fuck? So,
Working with children.
shut the fuck up. So in October,
guys, everybody go to the Twitter and spam Riley can't research.
we have
Let's
an
get it a
Instagram now
hashtag.
too.
Let's get it a hashtag,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Riley can't research shit. So in October 18th, fuck,
Mhm.
Anna. I gotta yawn. Hold on.
Look at him yawning like he owns the fucking place.
I hate you so
Boo.
much. Maybe
Everyone
Ollie's
knows if you
available.
yawn, you're racist.
You don't mean that.
I don't. You're right. On October 18th, 17-year-old Melissa Ann Smith, who was actually the
Mhm.
daughter of the Salt Lake City police chief,
Oh.
or actually no, it's a suburb called Midvale,
Mhm.
disappeared after she left a pizza parlor.
Huh.
They actually found her.
You know, maybe it was a ghost.
I don't think so, Gus.
Well, how do they keep disappearing, Riley?
Well, they actually found her nude body in a nearby mountain
Mhm.
9 days after she disappeared. But actually, upon post-mortem and like when they examined the body after she died,
Yeah.
they found out she was alive for a week.
Ooh.
So she almost lived.
Poor lady.
Yeah, I feel bad for these people, honestly.
Yeah.
And then
Wonder
a few days
why.
later, on October 31st, Laura and Aim disappeared, and both women. This is going to be very graphic. Were raped, beaten, sodomized, and strangled with a nylon stocking.
Hmm.
Kind of
Later,
fabric.
what did you just say, Eunice?
What kind of fabric was the nylon stocking?
Nylon?
Okay,
Nylon?
I'll talk to Ollie tomorrow.
I'm thinking we put cream in the rotation.
Are you sure about that?
No, I changed.
We'd never get him on.
No, you're right. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to bed."
I don't really feel like it.
I gotta edit. I love you, Kareem. I'm just kidding. He ain't gonna watch
We
this.
love you, Eunice. We're just kidding.
Yeah, we
We're
love
not gonna
you,
kick you.
Eunice. We love you more.
Balls.
Yeah, a lot more.
Can I
So
put my balls?
it was actually when Bundy confessed to these murders, he revealed his post-mortem like ritual.
Right.
Apparently, he would literally like go to the bodies and shampoo the hair, as well as apply makeup to them.
I think makeup. I think girl.
What?
What did you just say?
You say I like
I
makeup.
think makeup.
I'm
I'm
a
a
girl.
I
girl.
like makeup.
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
That's what he's. Yeah, he like. Yeah.
You're horrible.
That's what he was saying. He was just, you're a girl. You like makeup.
He's like fucking up the lipstick. It's like going on for like this.
The mascara's running down the cheeks.
They're dead.
Yeah, pretty dead.
Now, this one is pretty famous because this woman, she survived,
Right.
but now I'm not trying to victim blame here, but she might be a
That's
little
always a
fucking
good start.
stupid.
Right.
Because let me tell you why. On November 8th, 1974, Bundy, disguised as Officer Ted Roseland,
Mhm.
approached a young 18-year-old Carol DeRanche. They
Yes.
were at a mall, and Bundy said, "Hey, somebody tried to break into your car. I need you to come back with me to the police
Oh, I
station.
remember this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to go with me to the police station and file a report."
Mhm.
And she was like, "Okay." Not specifically saying which car it was. So they're in the car, and Carol points out that Bundy wasn't driving on a road that led to the police station.
Right.
So Bundy pulls over and tries to put handcuffs on her.
Mhm.
Funnily enough, actually, he puts both handcuffs on her on the same arm, and
He's a cop, right?
he's dressed as a cop.
No, but I'm like, wasn't he like, what's it called, part of the team?
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like an apprentice for like an actual police officer.
he's a dumbass. That's what he is. Fucking, he put the same handcuff on one fucking hand,
God.
and she escapes.
Oh,
No.
really?
Yeah,
What makes you say that? How?
but
I don't get it, man.
yeah, she fucking escapes, and later that evening,
Mhm.
a 17-year-old named Deborah Kent disappears.
Right.
This is right after they were like doing some sort of theater production at the high school.
Yeah.
In the parking lot, detectives find the key that unlocks the handcuffs for Carol DeRanche.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
So it links Ted Bundy to those murders.
Right.
And
I still believe. I still believe.
you think he's innocent.
I still believe.
Well, you're going to have to wait till part 2 to find out if he's really innocent.
Listen, man, I don't care what no coppers say. You understand me?
No,
Oh,
I really don't. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
the evidence
whatever.
is like us, like
Yeah, you can.
extreme.
Yeah, you can take that evidence and shove it. How
Oh,
about
my
that?
apologies.
Mr.
Yes.
Extreme.
Well, at least
Yeah.
he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
I guess we'll never know.
He confessed to it.
So,
Maybe he was paid off.
the person we were talking about like earlier, the person I mentioned, he confessed to everything that the cops told him.
He didn't
Plus,
get
keep in mind,
executed.
Huh?
not everything people say is true. Like OJ said, he didn't do it.
But Henry Lee Lucas didn't get executed.
So?
He he had nothing to gain. He
He had
literally
everything.
no. He literally had nothing to gain. It was on
You're
it
wrong.
was on fucking death row, and he confessed to
You're
all the
wrong.
other murders.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're
Gus,
pretty wrong.
shut the fuck up. But yeah, that's the end of part 1. You have to come back for part 2.
Okay.
What did you guys think of Ted Bundy so far?
Really gruesome. Like,
Oh yeah.
I know like quite a bit about him already,
Mm-hmm.
but my God, like just being reminded of how like truly evil this man was.
Oh yeah, like I was pretty knowledgeable,
And
and still like I was like, oh my god.
I hate the cops so much.
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you let that happen, man?
There's gonna be more
Because,
police misconduct.
because of course there is.
Wait until we talk about Bundy escaping prison.
I actually know about that one too.
I'm excited.
Mm,
What did
it's
you
just
think
like,
of this?
I don't know.
What
Yeah,
was
go
your
ahead,
guys?
Younes.
No, go
You
ahead.
have said to me
Mm.
for the past hour and a half sounds like Wattpad fucking fanfic bullshit.
It's real. It's all
So
real.
yeah, he just kidnapped people in front of witnesses, became a leading member of the task force designed to find him, wrote books on how to avoid him, and
Mhm.
used his real name. There was professionally drawn police sketches of him, and everyone noticed that it looked like him. And he said, like,
Yeah.
"Huh, that's weird." Like, you ever see that fucking Garfield sign? Like, I wonder who's that's meant to keep out.
Mm.
Bundy's like, well, anyway. Starts fucking. I'm fucking you. I'm fucking you. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Bundy is all over the fucking place, dude. Oh my god.
He really is. It's, I don't.
Yeah, no.
It's really the cop's fault. Like, he should have been caught a long time ago. This is not something that could ever happen nowadays. It's just
No.
like there's no way.
No, not that one guy who killed 2 people in close to.
No, but like it's not Bundy levels. Like
No,
2
I know.
people, it's something you can do in one day. After that, like once the cops like, it's just
Yeah, no, you're
I don't know,
fine. You can't do anything
yeah.
nowadays. Very
No,
boring.
and that's a good thing. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's a good thing. Of course, it's a fucking good thing.
Right.
But yeah, that was Ted Bundy Part 1.
Mm.
I'm sorry we had to break this up. It's just we'd be here for like, this is probably gonna be like a little over an hour. We'd probably be here for like 2.5 hours, and I'm not making 1 2.5 hour episode. I would kill myself editing that.
Yeah.
But you can follow us on Bodacious True Crime on Insta.
Yes. We're on Instagram.
I made the Instagram because I didn't want someone to take anything related to the name. Also, because Calvin took away Calvin hasn't given me the Twitter login. I can't tweet out funny things, so I'm using Instagram instead.
Oh my god.
It's
He
funny.
literally lost their login.
It's funny. Yeah, he doesn't know he was like, I was like, what's the pass? Like, what's the email? I don't know.
Right.
What's the pass? I don't know. Like, dude, I'm so mad. And like, it's funny because all of our followers right now, I'm going to have it so that only people part of the podcast are like, we're following. Maybe like a few others.
Right.
But everybody following us is like people we know and like fucking my mom. So, and then of course you can follow us on Twitter at @officialccp. It's never gonna change. We're never gonna be able to have access to the fucking Twitter.
Yeah, and
you can email us.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a direct way to reach us.
You can email us.
Leave your hate mail there.
I just said you can email us at gmail.com. You can email us at bodaciousTrueCrime@gmail.com.
So leave any of the hate you guys have there.
It's funny. I'm surprised we haven't gotten more, especially after fucking Manny Grossman.
Send nudes via that email.
We're calling him out right now.
Dude, I hate Manny. No, he's not watching this. You can kiss my ass. Dude, okay.
He's not watching this.
Listen, Riley, don't quit your day job.
Oh yeah. Fucking Mr. Mr. Grossman.
No, his last name, bro. You're doxing him.
He's so bad. That's his YouTube channel name.
Listen, still.
He can suck on my fucking Grossman. Do you have anything to say before we head out, Younes?
Did you know that Ted Bundy had a 7-foot frame with rats all on his back?
Okay, Gus, anything you want to tell us?
This? It's evil. He's evil.
Oh, definitely.
That's all there's really nothing else I can say about him. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
Of course.
And
of course, as always, stay bodacious.
Yep, stay bodacious. We'll see you for part 2 in a few weeks. I don't know. Whenever.
Eventually. It'll be there.
Eventually.
Just check every once in a while.
Refresh the page every day.
Never leave.
Refresh this video every day. And make it get more views.
If we hit 100 views, I will cry on camera, tears of joy.
If we hit 100 views on this video,
no way.
The video we upload, I will be completely naked.
And maybe you guys will see something.
Yep. I'm being serious.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I can't wait to see it. You lagged out. So
I'm gonna do it, is what I said.